Welcome to Leading Organizations That Matter, a podcast on the topics of leadership, organizational culture, and finding meaning and purpose in our work. I'm the host, Ray Spadoni, former CEO, current consultant, author, and speaker. Today's topic is, what's your strategic disposition? At the beginning of any type of strategic assessment or planning project, I like to take some time to try to understand the organization's strategic disposition. That is, its fundamental personality and tendencies when it comes to self-evaluation. Then, I like to apply a gentle bit of pressure to see how deeply held and widespread that disposition is in reality. This is what I mean. Some organizations view themselves as a provider of last resort, that they're too vital to fail and that there are very few other options for the community in question. Some organizations, despite what the financial and key metrics reports have to say, believe they are operating from a consistent and unquestionable position of strength. Some organizations view competitors as weak and unable to challenge their own deeply held historical position. Some organizations assume that long-standing referral patterns won't easily change and that their volumes are essentially guaranteed for the long term. Some organizations, okay, you get the picture. In short, I like to find out what the staff, leaders, managers, and board see when they look in the mirror. This is important because any proper strategic assessment will include an external environmental scan and a direct request to others on the outside, including patients, families, referrers, policymakers, payers, regulators, funders, and competitors for feedback. Whenever I encounter an organization's self-assessment that is not in line with what I hear from others, then there's a real learning opportunity for everyone. I'm sure this seems very basic, but I see this happen over and over again. An organization makes critical assumptions about itself that just do not stand up to scrutiny. Leaving this discrepancy alone for the strategic planning work can prove challenging and even eventually fatal, as the foundational assumptions upon which a plan will be built can be deeply flawed. Best to discover this early on, and the earlier, the better. Case in point, I once worked with one organization that felt strongly that it needed to engage in the consolidation activities taking place in its local industry. Everyone internally who I spoke to felt that this organization would be the acquirer. But when I pressure tested that on the outside, everyone I spoke to felt that that organization was ripe to be acquired. That's a pretty important discrepancy of opinion, and one that could negatively impact their prospects down the line. Again, best to close these types of gaps early on in the process. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll consider subscribing to this podcast, telling your friends and coworkers about it, and providing a review on Apple Podcasts or your platform of choice. That really helps a lot. And please feel free to learn more about me and my work at redsailadvisors.com.